All right. What's up? It's your boy TC. I know it's late. You never, ever see me on here this late. I'm usually on live, much earlier in the evening. Every now and then I'll pop on in the middle of the day. But just got off a great live with Mr. Napier, giving out some really good information, sharing with some folks about leadership. And so what I wanted to do is, I kind of wanted to spend a little time talking. And, I believe many of the people that I'm talking to are asleep right now. And they'll probably catch this on replay, or you'll have the information to be able to share with them, or the understanding and the sentiment to be able to share with them. But the title of this is, how many more signs? So, how many more signs do you need to protect yourself, protect your family? See, people are very concerned right now, and understandably so, with this government shutdown. So, he's basically shut down a part of his economy, President Trump, right? And it's going to have some sort of impact on your economy. But depending on whether you accept your responsibility as the CEO of your economy or not, will determine how you're impacted by the things that he does that are totally out of your control. So there's a couple of things that I'm going to touch on, and I want to make it clear I'm not using what's going on with the shutdown and the families, the hundreds of thousands of families it's affecting as an emotional pressure point and using them to get to you. No, this is just another situation amongst situations that are going on all the time. But because it's impacting 800,000 people at one time, it's a big deal. And people are really getting their attention. But is it getting their attention enough to take action, to be aware of what's going on, understand that they're responsible for their finances, to take charge of it, and then take action to protect yourselves? So for years, we've been online, offline, sideline, talking about the fiduciary responsibility of the adults of each individual household, the things that they have to do, they can do, and that they should be doing to protect themselves from, outside factors and influences. We say things, or we're taught things growing up, or things are preached to us as we grow up, like, don't put all of your eggs in one basket. That's preached to us, that's taught to us, whether it's about, an opportunity, a certain career path that we're just set on. We're getting that kind of advice. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. And when we're talking to people about multiple streams of income, they think it's just a cliche. It's just something to say. Well, there have been people that you know of. I have a friend, for example, that he made it through 2 downsizes, 2 reorganizations, 2 right sizings, didn't get cut. Now, he was making an upper 70s, 80,000 income range, right? And he made it past those 2 and didn't get cut. So he immediately realized that there were some precautions he needed to take, some steps he needed to take, so that when his number got called, because 2 had passed, it only seemed logical, that's a matter of time before his number got called, that he put some things in place so once it did get called, that he had a backup plan. Fortunately for him, part of his backup plan was an emergency fund. So when he got that slip, he had a little cushion to be able to take care of him. Now, see, Most people don't think about emergency funds seriously until the emergency happens, but then it's too late. And then, you have people say things like, well, I just don't have the money to build an emergency fund. Absolutely you do. You know that tax refund that you're waiting for now that you're not sure when you're going to get? Could have been money that you're putting in your emergency fund. So you could have been putting some of the money into your retirement account, getting tax preferential treatment, paying down some of the debt. So if his number does get called or your number does get called, you don't have as many bills to pay. But instead, millions of Americans right now have a truckload of their money sitting at the IRS, which right now is closed, and they can't get their money. See, 800,000 people are in that situation right now that have good government jobs. I'm not bashing, I'm praying for them. I'm not bashing them, but I'm saying many of their friends were looking at them like, man, you got that good government job. Well, government jobs aren't any different from jobs in the civilian sector. There's risk involved. I have a good friend that's a six-figure earner with a government job that still has to go to work but not getting a paycheck. Now, the challenge with that is he has a six-figure earner mortgage. He has a six-figure earner car note. A six-figure earner lifestyle, but no six-figure money coming in to pay for it. See, so even if you have that six-figure job, whether it's a good government job or in a corporate America job, what happened to the preaching that you did to your nieces and your nephews and your children about putting all your eggs in one basket? See, I'm just trying to create awareness. I'm not preaching to anyone, and by no means am I belittling those 800,000 families whose lives are in crisis right now, who right now need emergency funds, who right now need another source of income. And unfortunately, many might have put all of their eggs in one basket. See, that's 800,000 signs that instead of sending your money to the IRS, you may be using some of that money to create an emergency fund. So if your number gets called like my buddy got called, after he bypassed two of them, the third time was a charm, his number got called, but he had an emergency fund. See, so we're saying stop sending your money there, put it in your paycheck, build yourself a money emergency fund, put it in your retirement account. Do the things you need to do to protect yourself and your family. See, not only do emergencies happen, sometimes they're not an emergency. Like the furlough my buddy got, that wasn't an emergency. That was planned by a company to protect their economy, their business. That's what they need to do. These things behind me, they're not emergencies. Those are daily things that are coming at you that you have to protect yourself from. See, all those millions of Americans right now that are looking forward to getting that big tax refund, that big check. That's probably the biggest check they get all year. And mentally, in a sense, and emotionally, that's one of the attractions to it. But see, we live in a free enterprise society that has $100 million, trillion dollars access to you, at your disposal. So tax time doesn't have to be the only time you get a big check like that. And see, when something happens like this government shutdown, see, you can't just text or email the IRS and say, well, I know you're closed for the rest of those folks. Can you just cash app me the money that I voluntarily sent to you? I need it back right now. They closed. They're not receiving your texts or your emails or your pleas or your concerns. So you can make sure that incidents that happens that are out of your control don't become emergencies. They're only emergencies when you aren't able to adjust, when you aren't able to handle them. So all we're saying is we're trying to say, prepare yourself. You have all the power to do that. When we talk about multiple streams of income, it's just not a cliche to get you interested in what we're doing. No, don't put all of your eggs in one basket. You know, people all the time say, if you didn't know a reason why, you should at least listen to a presentation, if not ours, somebody's presentation. You now have 800,000 reasons why. Now, some people say that's not fair. Of course it is. See, because you didn't know about my buddy who got furloughed. You didn't know about him, so that might not have been an eye-opener for you. You didn't know about the people that got downsized when the sporting goods stores closed, or when the department stores had to close, or when all the blockbusters had to close. It didn't touch you personally because you didn't know anyone. But now, because of this shutdown, because what's in the news, those 800,000 people are your family. You know them, you feel for them, you pray for them. That should be enough reason for you to break some of the cycles. How about this? How about every holiday, since the masses are so programmed to spend, how about paying yourself first every single holiday? The first person that gets some of those holiday dollars is you. Before the supermarket gets it for what you're going to put on the grill, before the costume store gets it for the Halloween, pay yourself first. Make a deposit into your emergency fund. Make a deposit into your retirement account. Make a deposit into an investment for your children. See, your finances or your financial vulnerability is never going to change unless the CEO, you, make a change. See, I wrote all these notes down, but notes aren't even needed. It's right in front of you, and you're hearing it every single day. I have friends, whether they're white collar or blue collar, that have been downsized before. But you don't know them. So that's not something that's going to trigger you to say, well, you know what? I need to start putting things in place to protect myself. Now, we have tens of thousands of associates in our company. We focus on financial literacy and entrepreneurship. So we're teaching them. They're getting it. They're getting better at explaining it to you, at the necessity of understanding how to minimize your tax dollars. The necessity of not sending your extra tax dollars voluntarily to the IRS only to get a big check come tax refund time. Because guess what? When you need the money, you can't just punch some numbers on the ATM and get it. You're at their disposal to send it when they send it. You have to ask for it a certain way, in a certain time. And then if they want, at that particular time, they'll give it back to you. They may come up with a reason why they're going to delay giving it back to you. Isn't that what happened last year? So last year, people's tax refund was delayed at minimum of 30 days. Your money. You couldn't get your money back in extra 30 days. That should have been enough of a trigger to say, you know what? I better keep my daggone money in my paycheck. Put it under the mattress, whatever you need to do. See, taxes are going to come out of your next paycheck. And the one after that, and the one after that. And depending on what state you live in, state taxes are coming out of it too. When you go shopping, they taxing you. When you register your car, they taxing you. Buy some clothes, they're taxing you. So everywhere you go to spend your money, you're getting taxed, and then you're voluntarily overtaxing yourself. Your entire working career, and those are dollars that are not going in your retirement account. It has nothing to do with the system why a person after 20 years can't retire in the United States. Absolutely nothing. It's not the system's fault. See, if you had someone that's 10 years your senior, work for 20 plus years in whatever industry, and are not be able to retire, 10 years your senior, now you're at the 20-year mark and you can't retire, it's your fault. It ain't Trump's fault. It's not the Democrats' fault. It's not the Republicans' fault. It's your fault because you didn't do anything to bypass the hurdles that a person 10 years ahead of you already had to succumb to. You bought into the same Kool-Aid. Oh, I need to have a nice car every few years. Well, if that's more dollars than go in your retirement account. Oh, you know what, baby? We need to get a bigger house. We make more now. We need to get a bigger house. Well, there goes your retirement. The Republicans didn't do it to you. The political system didn't do it to you. You did it to you. You were doing it to you. See, no one made you go out and shop how you shopped over Christmas, New Year's Eve, Martin Luther King's birthday, the Martin Luther King birthday sales. No one is going to make you go out and spend money on Valentine's Day just because they say it's Valentine's Day. You're doing that. You're buying into that. Now, you could pay yourself first, you and your sweetie first, and then celebrate. See, you have choices. See, some people think it's just a cliche. When we say rich is an option, broke is a choice. You have an option to do what Zuckerberg did, to do what Oprah did, to do what some of those internet sensations did, to do what these young millennials are doing when making apps and looking at alternative ways for a lifestyle, for earning income. You have a choice to do that. So if you choose not to, the option end result may be that you're not getting rich, that you are building assets, you are building a legacy that your great-great-grandbabies will know who you are. See, some people's great-grandbabies know who they are because that's why they're in college. That's why they have their first apartment. And then other great-grandbabies know who they are because they've seen a picture on the wall. See, you determine your legacy. So this isn't one of those, Facebook Lives to come join my Iconz. No. It's to say you have to be aware that where you are today is a culmination of the decisions you made prior. Where you're going to be down the road is going to be a culmination of the decisions you make today and going forward. And there are plenty of signs to know that whether you need to shift or you need to change. There are plenty of signs for you to know whether you have enough knowledge specific to finance and money to get to your goals. Emotion has nothing to do with it. What the Joneses think about you have nothing to do with it because they don't pay your bills. It's when you and your significant other, or just you if you're the one, when you look in the mirror, that's the only one you having that conversation with. Just you. And I beseech you, I plead with you to look at what's going on, put blinders up to some of that interference, especially that flash and dash to cause you to fall into that sucker play and voluntarily keep giving up your hard-earned dollars when that could be your emergency fund. See, if you went into the office tomorrow and got furloughed, would you have a 6-month cushion to take you along until you found your next opportunity? Whether it be a job with another company, whatever it may be. Do you have 3 to 6 months saved? And this is not the first time that you're hearing of it. This is not the first time where millions have been devastated about something that's going on. You remember 2008, 2009 when the real estate bubble just burst? And hundreds of thousands of families were affected immediately by that. So as devastating and heartfelt as this government shutdown is making people feel, and as much as we're praying for those 800,000 individuals and families, this isn't an isolated incident. This is just another sign that says, wake up. Are you really going to put your children at jeopardy because you want that next model car? Because you want that big tax refund at the end of the year to flash the money around? Or are you going to be fiduciarily responsible? In other words, are you going to be on your ish when it comes to your money? Can nobody be on it but you? It's your money. And I'm not saying this because of some interest of my own. I'm saying because I care. And I know that there's information out there that can help you along. Information out there that can take you from this situation to this situation in a hurry. There are things going on in America that people are changing their lives like this. And all you got to do is put yourself in front of the train. And it can carry you along. But if you stay out of the line of fire of this information, of this knowledge, of the tools you need to win in a capitalist society, if you continue to put all your eggs from one basket to another basket, just hoping that your name doesn't get called, your number doesn't get called. It's only a matter of time. And that's not to scare you. That you have, if anybody in your circle has ever been furloughed, then you know your circle is not immune to it. If anybody in your family has ever been downsized, right-sized, reorganized, then you know that your family is not immune to it. If anybody in your community has ever been right-sized, downsized, reorganized, then you know your community is not immune to it. If you know anyone in the lower income bracket, the high six-figure income bracket, has ever been right-sized, downsized, or reorganized, then you know anybody across the board can be affected. I promise you, of those 800,000, male and female are included, lower income, higher income are included, education levels across the board are included, marital status across the board included, sexual preference included. It doesn't discriminate. So you alone are responsible for putting yourself in a situation to protect your family. It might be shifting them dollars back in your paycheck right now and start stacking 3 to 6 months just in case. Eliminating as much of your debt as possible, and when some is removed, don't add no more. In other words, when your car note's paid off, you better ride that till the wheels fall off. Because that extra $350 a month that might be your car note and insurance can be going into your emergency fund. 10 months, you already got $3,500 in there. Or if you use that to pay down some more debt, now you're putting $500 a month in your emergency fund. 6 months stack up pretty quick. So again, not a lecture, but to be aware, you cannot afford, because things happen just like that, to be reckless with your legacy, with your financial future. And as someone who's already been working 50 years, do they want to work another 10? Do they want to work another 20? Of course they don't. But somewhere in that working career, 30 years prior, they need to put some things in place, like multiple income streams, like all their eggs aren't in one basket, they're diversifying. So these are things you need to hear, or you hear all the time. Exit strategy. See, exit strategy isn't only a business terminology. How will you exit the labor force? What is your plan to get your 40 to 60 hours back? You can't sneak up on it. Otherwise, all those people you know that have been working 30 years and still working, they weren't able to sneak up on it. It has to be done by design. And there are people out there that are volunteering to help you. And maybe you have to pay for the knowledge. Think about it. You paid for the knowledge, tens of thousands of dollars to get you into your job. Paid for the knowledge to get you your real estate license, your insurance broker license. Paid for the knowledge to become a personal trainer, a teacher. You paid for the knowledge to be able to make a lifestyle, earn income. Well, you may just have to pay for some knowledge to learn specifics about finance and money so you can get free, so you can protect yourself, so you can get the extra cash flow to stack up 3 to 6 months emergency fund. And then that's what you're teaching your children. You're letting them know every single pay period you make a deposit into your emergency fund. So they go all through middle school and high school knowing that mommy and daddy was creating an emergency fund. So that becomes in their vocabulary, in their mindset. More so than every holiday we barbecuing, or every holiday we spending money. We waiting in lines, we going to sales. See, all your kids learn that. And they do the same thing. They see you swipe the card, can't wait till they get one. They probably couldn't get their first one till they're in college, and no one's around to say no. And because they saw you swiping, but they didn't hear you teaching, they don't understand credit card responsibility. They don't understand debt. They don't understand credit score. They don't understand any of that because you, the parent, didn't teach them. It's not the school's responsibility to teach your children how to balance a checkbook, to teach your children how to understand credit, to teach your children entrepreneurship. It's not the school's responsibility for that. What do we say? Reading, writing, arithmetic. They teach that. And some other skills allow you to earn income. But they don't teach you how to retire. That's why 90% of the workforce can't retire. They don't teach you how taxes impact your money until you find out yourself. They don't teach you how the fact you can minimize it until you hear that Trump wrote off over $900 million of stuff, and then you still didn't associate that with, hey, what can I do so I can get that same treatment? They didn't tell you nothing about credit, how now your bad credit may keep you from getting a job. That may be the one thing that keep you from getting hired ahead of somebody else. That might be the one thing that caused your insurance premiums to go through the roof. Who's going to teach your children that, or do they have to wait until they're in that situation? Too much debt. Think about it. If you lost your job, what are your bills up? What are your bills? Car note, credit cards. What if you didn't have any of that and your number got called? It wouldn't be as big of an emergency, if an emergency at all, if you maintain building that emergency fund like Susie Orman, Steve Harvey, all these people you watch talked about it. Oprah talked about it. Did you execute that? You were part of the book club. You read the books. You did the stuff you wanted to do. But what about the financial stuff? I say these things because nobody else saying them to you. People come in here and talk about, oh yeah, do this so you can buy a new car. I did this and now I can afford a Mercedes. That's a debt, stupid. That is nothing to be proud of. The fact that you just put yourself in debt and you don't even have an emergency fund. See, think about this. You flossing in your new whip and you don't got one share of stock in your child's name. You giving your child's legacy to Lexus, Mercedes, Ford, red bottom shoes, Gucci, Nike. You're building their grandbaby's legacy and nothing for your own. You got to shift your mindset. See, America's a land of opportunity, but only if you seize the opportunity. You're not seizing the opportunity. The opportunity is not a job. The opportunity is a legacy. So what, you make 6 figures on the job, don't go to work for a month. Get furloughed. What happened to those 6 figures? And then what happens to all the friends that was hanging out with you when you were spending some of the 6 figures? Are they going to help pay your bills? So you can't worry about what they think. All I'm saying is this. We're constantly seeing signs. You cannot afford, your babies cannot afford for you to be ignoring those signs. You make $2,000 a month on your job. You make $3,000 a month on your job. You can replace that in 6 months. You can build you an income part-time in 6 to 12 months that will make you more than $3,000 a month. If that's what you want to do. See, the same way people say, you know what? I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to spend the next 18 months and I'm going to get me a master's. Just as deliberately as you planned and you executed that plan, you could say, in the next 12 months, I'm going to learn everything I need to know, do everything I need to do, so 12 months from now, I'm going to have $4,000 to $5,000 residual income coming in. You could absolutely do that. Or, and see, people use this thing about time. I was having a conversation with a friend, and they were talking, well, you know, just people don't have a lot of time. That's hogwash. Bull. That's bull. You got 24 hours in a day. All right? Let's say you spend 10 of them at work. You spend 12 of them eating, sleeping, socializing. What you doing with the other 2? You could be using those other 2 to build your legacy. You're not too tired because you got 12 hours dedicated to sleeping, eating, and chilling. You work 10, granted. Well, that's 22. What are you doing with the other 2? See, no time is no excuse. If you want to win, you're going to win. Because those other 2 might have been the ones you're using for fantasy football. Those other 2 might have been ones you're using for flag football. Hanging out with the fellas, hanging out with your girlfriends. See, if you're not winning, it's because you don't want to win. Oh, but this going on. There are people that had your exact same hand and still won. They just took more action than made excuses. Every single one, you have the opportunity to make changes, even if they're little changes, and consistently make moves that over time will have a positive impact on your finances. Every single person watching this, there is something you can do right now that can help you help yourself. See, if you can watch Power, you can watch a video on YouTube that'll help you improve yourself. That'll give you a skill. That'll teach you how to set up a website that you can sell something on. That'll teach you how to be an online marketer. See, if you can watch Power and watch them get their money, you can spend that same hour learning so you can get yours. See, you hear people talk all the time about getting the bag. So, are you spending more hours filling up somebody else's bag because they're getting the bag, and less hours filling up your bag, your baby's bag, your grandbaby's bag, your legacy? See, you can't blame the Republicans. You can't blame the Democrats. You can't blame Trump on your financial situation. He wasn't there 6 years ago. He had nothing to do with those decisions you made back then. And really, he has nothing to do with the decisions you make right now unless you let him. Get the knowledge and tools you need to level up. Get the knowledge and tools you need so that no matter what the emergency is, it doesn't have to be an emergency for you. It can just be a situation you're dealing with. Whether it's a pink slip or whether it's somebody else's actions that causes a domino effect. If you're on a solid foundation, you have your financial ducks in order, it's just a situation to you and not an emergency. Your preparedness determines whether a situation is just that, a situation, or if it's an emergency. If you got your pink slip, would that be a situation you just need to deal with? Or would it be an emergency? If the company that you work for right now left you a voicemail and said, don't come in tomorrow, our doors are closing immediately, would that be a situation or would that be an emergency? See, over the past 2 years, you could have built up an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months. Or you could have just took trips and celebrate every holiday till its fullest. Wrap lights around every tree and fence all around you come Christmas time. And you're taking pictures and you're posting it on the internet. And everybody talking about how great it is. Your electric bill went up. But now a situation happens. Is that situation just that? A situation? Or is it an emergency? So, awareness, accepting and taking responsibility that you're the CEO, you're the boss, you're the shot caller, getting the knowledge and new tools you need to take action that will have a positive impact on your personal finances. Now, if you need some help, you need someone to guide you on how you minimize your taxes, we can do that. We're the one-stop shop. Increase your take-home pay, properly adjusting the W-4, 100 million people got that wrong, we can help you. You need to take back the responsibility of your own credit. Think about it. Your credit score determines how much you'll pay for a mortgage for the next 30 years. How much you're going to pay for a car for the next 5 years. How much you're going to pay every time you swipe that credit card. Your now and your future. Your potential ability to transition to a job that could be a great career move for you. But you may not get it because your character is judged by your credit score. It's not fair, but that's what they're using now. They want to know if they're hiring the right person. Someone's responsible, of good character, keep their word. Well, they see your credit score as a possible reflection of those things. Now it's time to get insurance. Now your premium may be affected. So credit is a huge factor when it comes to your finances now and in the future. How do you just delegate that to somebody who doesn't have to live now and in the future on how your score grows or doesn't grow, how fast it grows? It's not their financial future. They don't really care. For some, it's just a job for them, just some numbers. For some, they just passing the information on. They don't really care. But you do. You may be trying to make a career move. You may be trying to buy a house for your family. You may be trying to get in your first vehicle. So you delegate your piece of your financial future, a big piece of your financial future, to someone else. And because you don't get the knowledge, you don't even know if they're doing a good job. You don't even know if they're treating you fair or square. You have no clue. That's like 16, getting your first vehicle. You hear a noise. You take it to a shop. You're from a wealthy family. You say, hey, I need to get this fixed when my daddy come back, my mama come back. I don't know what it is. You dressed in Gucci, Gucci loafers, Gucci belt, linen down, rolling. They know you got paper. They go, don't worry about it, son. Go on and take an Uber to the mall, come back in about 3 hours, we'll get you taken care of. They come back talking about $5,200. They know he got a black card. $5,200, they might have been a little fuse. Well, that's going to happen to you when you're financing money, when you delegate things and you have no idea what they're doing. You're pulling the credit report, but they know you don't know how to read it. It's only 10 items, but they stretch it out 5 months, but they know you don't know the difference. You need your score repair right now. You need to go up right now. You got moves you want to make. A year later, you still can't make the moves. You didn't know you got played. You didn't know they just swiped your black card for $5,200. So you got to get the knowledge. You can't delegate it. Debt. The more debt you get in, the bigger legacy you're building for someone else. And you're stealing yours and your children's legacy. For what? Red bottom shoes? So somebody who don't really care about your family's impressed? Gucci belt, Gucci loafers, stuff? Your financial future, your legacy, your 40 to 60 hours getting them back? You can't do that. Not long term, because you know the result already. So get the knowledge and tools you need. If you don't get the help from us, get it from somebody. I just don't know nobody else who's teaching it. See, I don't know nobody else is saying that you just letting inflation happen and you're not making sure your money grow by 5%. I don't know who's telling you that. Nobody's telling you the hard stuff. They're not telling you, yo, how much you put in your retirement account? Is that going to be enough? Don't you think you should know? More than you know LeBron's contract? More than you know Curry's contract? There's people that know more about fantasy football, the stats on all the different players, they know about their own retirement account. How much they put in a month? What's it going to be in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years? Is that going to be enough? They don't know that math, but they know all the math surrounding fantasy football. And all their friends are the same way. Somebody has to say, yo, we can do this fantasy football stuff, but let's talk about our money too. You know something I don't know. You know something I don't know. I know something you don't know. Let's exchange our knowledge so we all grow. We have fun in fantasy football, but we all grow financially. Somebody in the crew knows about investments. Somebody in the crew knows about real estate. Somebody in the crew knows about tax. Somebody in the crew has a piece of something, and if you share it collectively as a team, you come up. It at least gets you thinking about things. All right. The last trip you went on, did you write it off? How many trips you think Trump takes and he not write it off? How many trips you think Oprah takes and she not write it off? The last barbecue that he had, was it a barbecue or was it a business luncheon? See, if it was a business luncheon, a percentage of the groceries is tax deductible. But if it's just a barbecue, it ain't tax deductible. Your last family reunion that you went on, your airfare, your hotels, your meals while you're up there, did you write them off? No, because you went to a family reunion. But had you had a business and you said, you know what? I'm a business owner every day. And when I go to North Carolina or Atlanta, wherever you're going for the family reunion, I'm having a business trip to Atlanta, and I'm going to have some fun with my family while I'm there. In fact, I'm going to call some of my cousins that I know are going to be there, and I'm going to set up some appointments. See, if you're more concerned about just socializing, you don't be a good steward of your money. And if the family is really smart, because this ain't the only community that thinks like this, it should be a family business retreat. Now, everybody in the family is writing their airfare off. Everybody in the family is writing their hotel off and a percentage of their meals off. There needs to be a workshop at the family reunion about hypertension, high blood pressure, nutrition. Somebody in the family knows it. There needs to be a class about investing, taxes. Somebody in the family knows something about it. And if they don't, they need to find out. Somebody got to be charged with it. So when they get there, it's not just a family reunion. It's a business family retreat. My family have family reunions all the time, different parts of the country. Don't nobody be writing none of it off. None of the expenses involved. And it's not because they don't know. They just haven't been applying it. I've been preaching to my family for years. Why would you ever travel somewhere and not make it tax deductible? Why would you buy your children Christmas gifts when you could pay them wages for helping you in your business down to Christmas gifts are tax deductible? Why be financially irresponsible when you can come up legally, morally, and ethically? I have family right now that's in Vegas. They're going to write their airfare off. They're going to write their hotel off. Are they writing off the Little League expenses? The travel fees? They should be. That's how you take care of your money. It's all there. You just have to change how you think. You have so much more power than you think you have. So much more power. And then once you know it, now you're teaching your kids. And then they're going to take it to a whole nother level. As technology advances, they're going to get faster, smarter than we ever will be. But you have to teach them a foundation. If the foundation you're teaching them is spend on every holiday, then you're teaching them to work hard to build somebody else's legacy. That's all you're teaching them. Every time they go spend the money, they're building somebody else's legacy. See, if your child had more Nike stock than Nike Air Jordans, now all these people all over the world, when the Olympics come, when the World Cup come, and they buying Nike and Adidas apparel, they making your baby money. See how much Nike apparel you got in zero Nike stock? How much Adidas stuff you got in zero stock in Adidas? How many PlayStation, Xboxes, iPhones, all that stuff you have in zero shares of stock? Get all off of Trump. It ain't Trump. It's you. See, he had nothing to do with all these decades of you not buying no assets, or you not owning any piece of America. That's not Trump. That's you. And some people will be mad at me for saying it. Most people will sleep anyway because they got to get up and go to work next day. So they may or may not even get this replay. But if you're on here, you have to get conviction about the knowledge that you have and be passionate about teaching people. Passionate about empowering them. Push them so they can help their families. See, if you don't help your family, who do you think come to help them? The government? How that's going to happen? That's not their job. This is capitalism. This ain't Sweden. Their job not to help you? Really? You really think that's what their job is? What presidency was that their job? Their job is to run the U.S. economy. And give you the tools so you can run yours. You're just not using the tools. They gave you a W-4 so you can get all your money in your paycheck. Now, they want you to have all your money so you can spend it. So that's a lot of cash going in the economy. The small business have to hire more people. So the unemployment rate is going to be lower. So the U.S. economy be flourishing. So they put a form in place, the W-4, so you can get your dollars. You just didn't read the form, so you ain't cooperating. But that's a plan for their economy. You should get your cash and put your plan in place for your economy, your emergency fund. You put habits in place that your kids mimic, and now they're wealthy. And now they have a trust fund. See, how can you take care of your children for 12 years of schooling, plus the other 16 years of schooling? And when they come out of school, all you have for them is a dinner. Think about that. You told them to work hard so they can get through high school, get good grades, go to college. They did everything you asked them to do. And when they graduated, you taking pictures of them, taking pictures with them, you proud of them, and all you could give them was a dinner and a hug. They didn't fail you, but you failed them. Why? Because their classmates, the past 5 years, their parents bypassed having a car note and stacked that car note money. And when they graduated, said, here's $50,000 for your down payment of your first crib. Here's $50,000 for a down payment of your first business. Instead, we roll up with a new car, taking pictures with them, of them, wheeling them around in the new car to dinner. You failed your kids. Think about it. I know I'm challenging. I know I'm crossing that line. I know I'm stepping on some toes, but I ain't telling a lie. The 4 years your kids are in school, did you or did you not have a car note? And if you didn't have a car note, could you have stacked that and that be the money you give them when they graduated? You absolutely could have, but you didn't because no one talked to you about it. So it wasn't taught to you. It wasn't instilled as a possibility. So their 4 years in college, even from the last 2 years in high school, all the way through college, you had a nice whip, a nice car note. In fact, mom and dad probably had car notes. And now when son or daughter graduates, you give them a hug and dinner. You need some help on the applications for your job? Where are you going to get an apartment at? Are you going to come home? You could have gave them a down payment on their first house. Why not? So now, my question is this. You have young children, 6-year-old, 7-year-old. Are you going to think about that? Come Easter, are you going to buy them a share of stock before you buy them an Easter outfit so the people in church think highly of you because y'all fresh? All it is a mental shift. Shift your mindset, you shift your income. See, every holiday, are you going to pay you and your family first before you pay the grocery store to put some stuff on the grill? Before you pay the costume store so you can dress up? Before you pay the big box store so you can have all this stuff under your tree? Are you going to pay you and your family first? Are you going to start building investments in your child's name so they have something waiting for them when they come out? Their last 5 years of education, are you not going to get a car note, stack it, so now you can get them started? Now you have something to pass on besides a hug, a kiss, and dinner? Come on now. We're the wealthiest country in the world. And you can position your family to get to the next level. You just got to think differently. Guess what? If you don't, there are still other families that are. Despite of what our buddy is doing in Capitol Hill. See, it doesn't matter what's going on right now per se. No disrespect to the 800,000 lives that are devastated right now. I pray for them, and I'm sure you're praying for them. But there are always challenges. There were challenges in 2008. People's lives turned upside down, and for years after that. Some people are just recovering from that. Those are just signs. It's just, does it take a traumatic incident for your family personally before you then take interest? But see, if you start positioning yourself now, a situation doesn't have to be an emergency. It can be just that, a situation. You can change your financial situation in a hurry. There are too many things going on right now that we call trends. There are too many things that are happening that need to be fixed right now, that if you satisfy that need, your life can change in a hurry. Your financial situation change like that. And if your mindset changes, the sky's the limit. And the sky's not even a limit. So, I don't know how long I've been going. I plan to have a quick 5 minutes. But as you can tell, I'm real passionate about it. Did anybody trying to sign you up? See, you got to understand, it doesn't matter if you ever enroll in my Iconz. You still have to address taxes. You still have to address credit. You still have to address debt. You still have to address inadequate investing in savings. You still have to address the impact on inflation on your dollars. It don't matter whether you get involved with us or not. Absolutely not. There's 100 million people out there, one less that decides not to do business with us. There's still almost 100 million people out there that need our help putting their dollars back in their paycheck. There's still 68 million people out there that have poor credit. And a good percentage of them want to learn it to do it themselves. See, this ain't one of those deals like a car wash, where it makes sense to decide whether, do I want to let somebody else do it, or what do I want to do it myself? The stakes are too high. See, if they miss putting armor on your tires, that's no big deal. But if they miss raising your credit score by another 100 points, that's life-changing. See, you still got to deal with all that. But ain't nobody empowering you to do that. There are Harvard graduates, Ivy League graduates, that are getting beat up by these obstacles. There are HBCU graduates that are getting beat up by these obstacles. They're getting downsized, right-sized, reorganized. There's some Ivy Leaguers. I promise you, you cannot tell me in 800,000 people, there's at least one Ivy Leaguer. Absolutely. The government wants to hire the best too. You can't tell me no 800,000 ain't no HBCUers alum. Absolutely. University of Miami graduates, MIT, absolutely. Other state and local institutions of higher learning in those 800,000, absolutely they are. So we're not impervious to it. So we know that there are people that we're going to be able to help, but they got to want to help. Unfortunately, and it is what it is, some people have become comfortable being uncomfortable. You know, and I'm going to close with this. You know, we traveling up the road, me and some of my business partners years ago. We just traveled up the road, going from one city to the next. We got another training. We gassing up, and you got to imagine back in the day, they didn't have when you could just put your card in. You know, I'm dating myself a little bit. And, you know, so it's my turn to go in and pay for the gas. So, you know, I go in and pay for the gas, and I notice there's a little hound over there, just a howling. Just a howling. I don't know why that dog howling, but I'm from Philly, so, you know, you hear a dog, you look to see if they're coming for you. He wasn't coming for me, so, you know, I ain't worried. Gave the guy $20. That's getting that. I'm dating myself, gas was real cheap. So going to fill up, I come out, walk back to the car, it's still yapping. I'm keeping an eye on it because I need to jump in the car or what? Because that's what we did growing up. Dog coming at you, jump in the car. Now, didn't use the whole $20. Think about that. Imagine filling your gas tank up now, you don't use the whole $20. So I'm going back in to get your change. It's just a yapping. So guy gives me the change. I said, listen, quick question for you. Yo, what's up with that dog? Oh, that's old Rusty. Don't pay no attention to him. He just won't get up off of that nail. See, how painful will the pain be or have to be before you get up off of that nail? If you decide to get up off of that nail anytime soon and you want some help with your financial literacy and your entrepreneurship, we have an online educational system that focuses on just that, financial literacy and entrepreneurship. We deliver it through a web-based business, and it addresses all those. It's already in place. You ain't even got to figure it out. Just follow the step-by-step system. Just open yourself up to learning the things that you might not have learned when you was in the Ivy League institutions, phenomenal institutions. When you were in the HBCUs, phenomenal institutions. Those private institutions, private universities that have made a name for themselves, providing the best quality of education. Those state and those local institutions of higher learning didn't teach you how to address those. But when you decide that the pain is enough, then we can help you get up off of that nail, ease the pain, and get down the road quickly to your financial goal. So I want to thank you all who's up late at night with me. I'm always up late, but I never come on. You know, things are always going through my mind I want to share. I just don't, but I could not help myself but to share what was on my mind. You know, how many signs do you need before you say, you know what, I need to adjust? It ain't no major overhaul. It's just small adjustments. And when you do that, you know, you're going to win financially. So I'm going to thank you all, you know, for getting on. Those who are up and about, you know, those night owls like me, those entrepreneurs that this is the norm for them. This is what we do. So I thank you all, and God bless. And, you know, good night. And hey, if this is the replay for you, I hope it was meaningful, and I hope it pushed some buttons and triggered some things for you. All right? So you guys take care. God bless.